Welcome back to another episode, everybody. This week, we're going to have a conversation with Jay. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Tony. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Super pumped to have this interview with you today. So with that said, let's dive right into it. If you could give us a one-word open right now so the audience and I could know, what's that one word that could describe how you're feeling in this moment? What would that be?
I guess inspired, to be inspired, to inspire. I mean, that word has a lot of meanings. But it's a word that follows me throughout my career. So inspired is the word I would go for.
Excellent. If you could take the next few minutes, just tell us about your business. Tell us a little insight into your background as a leader and also your business. What does Sky IT Group do? Who do you help? How do you help them? That would be great.
Sure. So Sky IT Group was born in 2000 as a system integrator, hardware, software services. And evolved over the years to become a SaaS, software as a service platform that connects between retailers and brands. What we basically do is enable brands to see how their products are selling or not at the department stores that they're selling into in the company-owned stores as well as their .com. And then for the retailers, we provide a platform that they can actually have a conversation with the brand to see what's really moving, what's not moving, within the specific merchandise of a brand, and then make decisions based upon that. So in the bottom line is we're a platform that sits between the retailer and their brand. It's a worldwide, it's a global platform that enables both sides to go in and actually make decisions and take action immediately based on results.
Excellent. Thanks for giving us that high-level insight into your business. I can't wait to dive into it more. So with that said, can you share with the audience a recent win that you encountered in your business? And when you're telling us about this win, tell us your takeaway. What did you walk away with? What was your learning experience with this win?
Yes. Recent takeaway, actually that happened about a week ago. We just sent a press release out. We have signed up with the Saks office. It's a company with well over 100 retail department stores around the U.S. And the interesting part is that the win here was a win-win-win, meaning that Saks office gained a platform to enable their merchants to see what's selling and what's not sell. The brands that are selling into Saks office are able to also view the same platform and then have a good collaborative conversation with their merchants. And the third win, in my opinion, is the consumer, because right now, as we talked about a little bit before the session about the supply chain problems. Obviously, Saks office does not have supply chain issues, but nevertheless, the availability of products makes it another win for the consumer. So the platform is enabled basically to have availability of products on the shelf at the right time, at the right spot for the end user to purchase.
Gotcha. Thank you. Let's talk about the other side of that. Can you share with us a recent failure? And also, when you went through that failure, you came out on the other side. What did you learn from it?
Oh, so many. I'm not sure how much time you have, Tony. List of my failures. One failure I can tell you, I'm not sure it's a failure. It's more of a regret. Is not not starting this platform or this business when I was much younger, before the highlights on top of my hair, because I used to work for a company, several companies for many years. I actually started the programmer, but I was very, very bad at it. And I moved into sales, which enabled me to use my characteristics a little bit better. And then I started Sky IT Group. So I started the company at the age of 40, and evolved ever since. But I think a regret was that I did not start this company at the age of 25. That's my kind of regret relates to my career.
Gotcha. How would you say that the pandemic has impacted Sky IT? And then And then how did it affect you? How did it impact you? And also, how did you pivot?
Good question. The pandemic, being that we are a platform between the retailer and the brand, you can imagine the impact that we had when stores closed. People were not going to stores. Orders between the retailer and the brands were canceled or delayed, for that matter. I'll be honest with you. At one point, I thought maybe we need to change profession. Maybe go to dental school or do something else rather than doing what we do. But within one day of being a software as a service business, within one day we sent everybody home. Everybody was able to work from home and not lose a beat. We thought many of the brands are going to cancel. Obviously, why pay if you're not getting insights or data? We were surprised. Our churn before the pandemic was like 1% annually, and it went to 1.8%. So it really did not affect us in the way that you would think. Products were still being sold online, so we're still capturing that data. Brands needed to know the problems as well as they need to know the good news. So during a problematic time, you still need to have insights, probably even more than in good times. So we did not have people, companies leaving us. We did have, unfortunately, some companies who have went out of business or were not able to afford the service anymore. But what we have done a little bit differently is we went to many of our customers and said, listen, we understand this is a problematic time. We understand revenues are plumbing 40%. We're going to give you a month or 2 or 3 months to, as a reduced rate. And I think that friendship that we developed with many of our subscribers paid us off in spades later on, because we're not taking advantage of the opportunity. We were really getting closer. And I remember we were having calls from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with brands to talk about. In fact, we had calls from some of the biggest luxury manufacturers like LVMH and Kering calling us to say, "You guys are okay," which was very humbling to receive. So we definitely pivoted within one day, but we took a lot of actions to enable the business to continue and not to lose a beat.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Jay. What general advice would you give to businesses that are looking to modernize their reporting? Because this is your expertise. This is what you're really good at. So I'd love to hear your general advice for those businesses.
Yeah. Everybody is talking about digitization of the business and getting, and it's something that will continue to go. I can tell you what's going on, or what has been going on between the retail and the brand. A lot of the information that was sent is very old, inadequate. A lot of it is manual spreadsheets. Some retailers develop portals for data extraction by the brand. None of that has worked. It's old. You need to come to the new. You need to see what's going on with the new. Companies, retailers need better platforms to enable their merchants to know what's selling or not. The brands need to know what's selling or not. Because if that red shirt is not selling in Miami, you need to know quite within a week. So you can make a change and move it to San Francisco where it's selling much faster. So these decisions are being made on data. And I'm not saying data is the end all. What I'm saying, it gives you the tool to make a decision, a more informed decision. So in my suggestion for retailers, take a hard look at your employees, take a hard look at your merchants and see, do they have the tools to have a great communication with the brand that they're selling into with those merchants. Those brands have to have also the same concept. Do you know if your product is selling or not ahead of the retailers? Are you informed? Do you have all these tools to have this conversation, intelligent conversation, on a Monday morning for last week's results? So I say take a hard look at what you have in place and make sure it works. Because if you don't, you're going to be saying, you're going to go back. And the connection between the retailers and the brands is so important, because today, you have to do a lot more with a lot less. And having these tools and these insights to enable you to make those decisions just make it so much better.
Awesome. Thank you. And what words of wisdom would you offer to retailers out there that are currently depending on a global supply chain?
Well, the global supply chain is going to be here for a little while. And if you go to any store, and I know I have, you're not going to see all the supply on the shelves, and that's unfortunate. My suggestion again, insights and analytics. I mean, what's really selling, what's not selling. You don't need to have all sizes on the rack. You don't have to have all the colors on the rack. How do you maximize? How do you maximize the performance of your product that you still have? You know, we cannot, I should say, solve the supply chain. Obviously, it's a lot more than insights, but insights gives you the ability to know what's the right product at the right spot, at the right geographic location, at the right time for the right consumer. And that enables you to kind of gauge a little bit within what you have in place, like they say, sell what's on the truck, right? Whatever you have on the truck, that makes your distribution and the allocation is done correctly.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Jay, now let's shift gears over to the conversation of thought leadership and company culture. So first off, I would love to hear your point of view on the top three things that make somebody an awesome thought leader. So when you look at someone, or when you're hearing someone give a presentation, or you're reading a book and you research the author, you go, wow, that's a thought leader. And here's three reasons why like that stuck out to you. And you're like, that's the reason why. What would those three things be?
Okay, well, a couple of things. Number one, thought leadership has a lot to do with company culture. I think your question is kind of intertwined. One thing that we've done here, as far as company culture, we really embraced it. I strongly believe, and I mentioned that on every presentation, every company meeting we have, that really people make the business, not the technology. And the people are important. They need to be respected. They need to be they need the ability to grow. They need the ability to see the vision going forward, and they need to be excited about what they're doing. You can't bore them, especially developers. You know, you're talking about data scientists and so on. You can't bore them. You need to challenge them every single day. So I think that one thing that I've noticed, you know, the concept of embracing the employees, and that's the reason I think we had very little, considering a technology company, turnover in our company. People have been here for 10 years or more and have done a superb job. And we have new folks coming in and they're getting acquainted into the atmosphere. And it seems to me that, like I said before, people are ahead of the technology. And that's something that has worked for us. And I hope it will work for others as well.
That's really awesome because, you said something that's really, it really resonates with me. You talk to people, they say they're B2B, they're B2C, they're online, offline, retail, online. But at the end of the day, you said it best, it's P2P, right? It's person to person. It's this brand, this logo that's being represented, or a product offering or service offering
right.
to this individual CFO, controller, CEO, leader that's making a decision, to buy in decision, or just the consumer making it's person to person essentially at the end of the day. Great. Let's talk about company culture.
And let me also add to that. I think the point you made is very valid. In addition to that, I think one of the reasons we have a very low churn, meaning companies leaving us, or very high retention, is the other way of looking at it, is I think because of the people we have in place. The way our customer support, we call it analyst squad, the way they support the customer. We don't take a cavalier approach. Every problem is seriously dug into, researched, and then presented with a solution. We have a half an hour, response time. We don't let it just go into voicemail. It's a voice that answers the phone. Even when we were remote, the calls were made online and so on. So I think that's one of the reasons that if a customer leaves us, and we've done a research on that in a survey, when a customer leaves us, it's because they have a problem with their business, not necessarily a problem with our support, our services, our data is incorrect, or anything of that nature. It's really about, the problem that they're having internally. So again, the culture within the company is, I think, the utmost. If you want to grow a company, take care of your people. That's number one.
Yeah, that was really good insight you just shared with us. If you could just give us a little bit more insight into your point of view on company culture, maybe if you could just give people three takeaways and like, hey, you must have, in your point of view, you must have these three things to have an awesome culture. What are those three things?
Number one, energy. You need to have the energy and to show the energy every day that you come in or every day you're online with the people. That's number one. Number two, be passionate about what you do. Care about what you do. Number three is always check yourself and always be better than you were the day before. And by the way, that's true for our company as well. I mean, when we look at our competition, and I always say to the team, the only competition we have is us, and we have to be better than the week before. So we have to be better today than what we were a week before. And that goes back to company culture. How do you help folks to achieve these? How do you help them to be more passionate, more caring, more resilient, and more diligent about what they do? And how do you give them the perspective of future opportunities going forward with the entity you're with? I think these are the things that resonate with company cultures. My thoughts.
Yeah, that was outstanding. And thanks for giving us that nugget as well. So here we are at the end. The audience has been listening to you. They've got a good general idea of what you do and who you are as a person. And if they're interested at this point and they want to find out more information, please take this opportunity to give out your website address, your social handles that you want them to follow to engage with you. This is the perfect time to do so.
Sure. So the company is called the Sky IT Group. So it's www.skyitgroup.com. Our product, very well recognized within especially in the luxury, beauty, home, and jewelry business, is the SkyPad. Well-known platform. Today has 2,000 plus brands using it and about 150 retailers worldwide with about over 4,000 users. My email address, my personal email address, is that what you wanted me to put in?
If you like to, or you could give out your Twitter handle, whatever you like.
Yeah, it's the letter J, Hakami at skyitgroup.com. We are on Twitter on the Sky IT Group SkyPad app, as well as on all the other social platforms. On LinkedIn, you can find us as well. And just Google SkyPad or Sky IT Group, you're going to find us. No worries.
Awesome, Jay. This has been a pleasure to interview you, and I just wanted to thank you for the meaningful conversation.
Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate the time with you. Alrighty, take care now.
Take care.
Bye.